All right, y'all. So like I said, 3.6, solving applied problems. All right, y'all. So the first two, they want us to fill in a blank. So I'm going to use MathLab for those two. They're going to give us a statement and they want us to pick which choice is the correct translation of it, okay? So let me get MathLab up here. So y'all, I'm going to let y'all answer this one. But the translation of the statement, the sum of three numbers is 50 is, and then they're going to give you three choices here. So x minus y minus z equals 50, x plus y plus z equals 50, or x minus y plus z equals 50. Yeah, what y'all think? Top, middle, or bottom?
Middle
I
one.
would say it's probably the x plus y plus z.
Yeah, because see, they're saying the sum. And y'all remember, since they're saying the sum of three numbers, they're adding all three of those numbers. So you would go with the x plus y plus z equal 50, okay? Good job. Now, this one's a little trickier. So I'm going to write this one down and tell you what you got to do on this one. But it says the first number is 50 more than the sum of the other two numbers. All right, y'all. So let me show you the answer blanks just so that y'all can see this. Notice how they got everything on one side equal to the number. So the trick for us is to come up with the final answer that looks sort of what they got, okay? So y'all, let me share the pad back. So the first thing, we just want to come up with our sentence, and then we'll solve it to get everything on one side equal to the number, like the three forms they had, okay? So y'all, the first number, we don't know that number, so that's going to be x. All right, we see is here. When you see is, that's your equal signs, okay? And then it says 50 more than the sum of the other two numbers. So y'all, there we got the sum again. So the other two numbers being added will be y plus z. And then notice right here, it was 50 more. So that also means that you're going to be adding the 50, okay? So you want to get your equation set up based on the sentence. Now, we need everything on one side on this one, okay? So to get everything on one side, we would subtract y from both sides, and we would subtract z from both sides. Okay, so to move something from one side to the other, you're just changing the sign, because this will cancel and that'll cancel. Now, on the left side, we do not have any like terms, so I'm just going to put them in alphabetical order. I'm going to do my x minus the y minus the z, and y'all, that'll equal the 50 that we got left on that right side. So that's how they're doing the work to get one of these three answers. So what we say, x minus y minus z. So on that one, we would go with that choice right there, okay? So set up your equation and then get everything on one side. All right, y'all. So now the systems of equations are coming up for us, okay? So let me write our problem here. And then we'll go work this. So we got triangle ABC, angle B is 22 more than 3 times the measure of angle A. So that'll be angle B equals 3 times A plus 22. So 22 more than 3 times angle A. Then it says angle C is 53 more than the measure of angle A. So that sentence will be A plus 53. Now notice what they say. Find the measure of each angle. All right, so we're going to work this one on the pad, definitely. Now, in a second, remember, I'm going to get everything on one side equal to the number. That's why they had us doing them 2 questions earlier. And then we're going to get the A on the side over here. Remember, we want to make columns for all the variables we got, like our A's, our B's, our C's, and that'll equal to the numbers. So we'll set them up to look like the stuff we had the other night. But y'all look here. I got A, B, and C. I got 3 different variables. So if I'm going to solve a system of equations with 3 variables, I need 3 equations. Now on this problem, they want y'all to come up with the 3rd equation. So we got a triangle ABC here. That 3rd equation depends on what y'all know about this triangle and those 3 angles. So y'all, what do y'all know about the 3 angles in a triangle? Oh, y'all let me stump y'all, right? Oh, Ari, I like what Ari just said. Ari said they equal 180 degrees. So that means A plus B plus C equals 180 degrees. Okay. Now remember, they don't all got to be the same in a triangle. As long as them 3 angles equal 180, it don't matter what each separate angle equals, okay? All right, so this equation's in the right order. We just got to get these 2 in the right order. So what I'm going to do to the first one, I got B equals 3A plus 22. I'm going to get the A moved over by subtracting the 3A. So they cancel right there. So these are not like terms. So negative 3A plus the B is going to equal the 22. So that one's in order. This one's now in order. So now let's get the C equals A plus 53. And y'all on that one, it looks like all we got to do is subtract the A from both sides. So let's subtract A from both sides. Now, putting them in order, I'll have a negative A plus my C. Those cancel. So all that's left over here is our 53. So now we got 3 equations. Let me set up our system now. So negative 3A plus B There's no C on this one, and that equals 22. The second equation, negative A plus C equals 53. And then my third equation, A plus B plus C equals 180. Now, you're going to have fun doing this one by hand. And also, you can do this one on the calculator just like I did the other night. Now, I'm going to tell you a trick on these ones. When you're missing a variable, like I'm missing the C here and I'm missing the B here, if I choose to eliminate the C, since this equation don't have a C, it'll become one of the two equations that I get next. So then all I got to do is add these two together, eliminate their C, and that'll become the other one. Or you can do the B's the same way. Eliminate the B's with the two equations that have a B, and then use that one as the second equation, okay? So I will say this, if we did this on the calculator, we have a -3 for the A, a 1 for the B. You would put a 0 here and then 22. Then -1, 0, 1, 53, and then 1, 1, 1, 180. So, y'all, let me show you how I would do this one, okay? So, what I'm going to do, since this one don't have a C here, there's no C, I'm going to eliminate the C on these two equations, okay? So I'm going to eliminate the C. Now, if I want to eliminate the C, they're both positive. So since both these C's are positive, I'm going to multiply one of these rows by a -1. So since that one's negative, I'm just going to multiply that first row by a -1. That way I can eliminate the C, okay? So I get negative times a negative makes that a positive A. There's no B here. And a negative times a C makes that a -C equal to the negative times the 53, which is -53. All right, I'm not changing this row. So I got A plus B plus C equaled 180. All right, y'all, look, the C's cancel. So adding these together, A and A give me 2A plus my B. That's going to equal 180 minus 53. So y'all add that up real quick. Do me a 180 minus 53. So what you got there? 127. All right, notice I got A's and B's. This equation that we didn't use up here has A's and B's. So those two equations we're going to put together now. The 2A plus B equals 127. This one that we didn't use was a -3A plus a B equals 22. We can now solve these two equations for eliminating one of the variables. Then I'll have one variable left to solve for. Then we'll start back substituting, okay, and get all three of these angles. So right here, I'm going to eliminate the B by multiplying this row by a -1. That way that'll give me a -B to cancel with that one, okay? So I'm not changing my first row. So 2A plus B equals 127. Multiplying through with that negative, negative times negative makes that a +3A. Negative times positive makes that a negative b. And then negative times positive makes that a negative 22. But y'all look at that. We got the b's to cancel. So let's see what we got. We got 2 and 3 gives us 5a. And then y'all, let's see what we get here. 127 minus 22. Oh, that's what, 100 and what do you got? 105 looks good. All right, so Ari, do this for me. To solve for a, we're going to divide both sides by 5. So take that 105 and divide by 5. And we get, good job, 21. So y'all, angle A is 21. So angle A equals 21. Well, if I multiply that times 3 and add 22, I'll get angle B. So angle B will equal 3 times 21 plus 22. All right, Ari, how about that? Do me 3 times 21 plus 22. All right, so you got 85, looks good. So angle A is 21, angle B is 85. So I can get angle C by taking angle A plus 53. So angle C will equal A, which was 21, plus 22. All right, Ari, that's your last add. And do me 21 and 22. So 43. All right, angle A was 21, angle B was 85, angle C was 43. So Ari, let's check our answer real quick. Add 21. So Ari, add 21 plus 85 plus 43 and tell us what you get. Then add that 21 to that. So do 21 plus 85 plus 43. Oh, y'all, did I do something on this wrong? Let's see. Okay, so we got angle A was 21. So let me come back up here. Oh, y'all know what I did? Oh, I was looking wrong. Angle C was A plus 53, okay? Oh, I'm glad y'all caught that, Mariana. I was looking at, I think, the 22 from the B, okay? So angle C was 21 plus 53. So add 21 and 53 together. And 74. All right, so let's do that. 21 plus 85 plus 74. Add them three together and we should get 180, hopefully, right? There we go. All right, y'all, so that got me. I was writing down the A here, but then I looked up here and I think I put down that 22 again. But we'd already used that one on that one. So my bad, just looking at it wrong, okay? So, hey, I guess that's why you check your answers, right? So that if you make a mistake, you can go, oh, okay, it's this, I did that, okay.
Hey, can I see that page one more time? I had like one more thing to write.
Okay. Yeah, and I gotta go put our answers on Math Lab anyway, don't I? I forgot to do that.
Got it.
Okay. All right, so say it'll have each of these angles in order. We got a 21 inner. We had a 85 inner. And y'all, at that point, I'd have been happy, and then when I'd have put in that 43 while ago, I'd have been sad, right? I'd been like, how did that happen? And then we'd have seen that we put that 22. All right, y'all get ready for our next question. All right, the sum of three numbers is 61. The difference of the largest and smallest is 48. And then the sum of the two smaller numbers is 17. So find the three numbers. So let's go to this pad. All right, so the first sentence, sum of three numbers is 61. Difference of largest and smallest is 48. And then the sum of the two smaller numbers is 17. So I'm just going to show you how I would make my columns up. I would make this my largest number. Largest number will be my X's. My middle number will be my Y's. And then my smallest number, I'll let that be my Z's here, okay? So what is our first sentence? You got the sum of three numbers is 61. So what y'all putting there? Oh so area, I just want the whole equation. Okay, there you go. So I want an X plus Y plus Z equals 61. Because remember, when you see sum, that means you're adding the three numbers. So X plus Y plus Z equaled 61. And y'all mind me to do this one on the calculator also so y'all can see that you can do all these problems on here, okay? All right, y'all, what about this one? The sum of the two smaller numbers is 17. So what is my second? Oh, hang on. Yeah, because I was on the wrong sentence. So the difference of the largest and smallest is 48. So good job. The largest was X, smallest was Z, and that'll equal 48. And then the third equation was the sum of the two smaller numbers is 17. So Y plus Z equals 17. So y'all, if you notice, this one is similar to the one I had with the numbers while ago. I don't have a Y here. I don't have an X here. So I can use either one of these missing equations as one of the two that I get over here, okay? So what I really figure out, do I want to get rid of the X's because this one don't have an X, or I could get rid of the Y's because this one don't have a Y. So y'all, how about, oh, I'll just get rid of the X's here. Okay, so I'm going to eliminate the X's from these two equations and then use this one as the second equation, okay? So to eliminate the X, I got to multiply one of these by -1 because that X is positive, that X is positive. So I'm going to multiply my second equation by -1, okay? So y'all, my first equation staying the same. X plus Y plus Z equals 61. Multiplying this one by the negative, you're going to get a negative x. You're going to get a positive z because you got negative times a negative. And then that's going to equal that negative times that 48, which is negative 48. But y'all, I needed these x's to cancel, and they now cancel. So bring down the y. Z plus z gives me 2z. And then 61 minus 48. Should give me what, about 13 on that? All righty. So I got a y plus 2z equals 13. This third equation didn't have an x, so I can automatically bring it over. Y plus z equals 17. So if you notice, when you got missing variables, it's almost like the second equation makes them easier because you're not having to eliminate twice on them, okay? All right, so you got two equations here. I'm going to eliminate either the y or the z. I think here I'm going to eliminate the y by multiplying this second equation by -1. So leave the first equation as it is. Now multiplying by the negative makes that a negative y there, a negative z, and a negative 17. But y'all look here, those y's cancel. Oh, y'all look at this. 2z minus 1z leaves me 1z. So if I can add these numbers, I'll know what the z equals right off the bat. So negative 17 and 13 will give me a -4. So my smallest number is -4. So now I can put a -4 in for that z and get my middle number. So y equals, whoops, y, all right, let me start it over. Y plus z equals 17. So y, z is -4. That's going to equal 17, okay? All right, y'all. Solve for y, add that 4. So we're about to know what our middle number is. So those 4's canceled, and that's going to give us a 21. So -4 was the smallest number. 21 is the largest, the middle number, because that's the y. So now we got to get the first number. So I'm just going to do x. Now y'all watch this. It says minus z. That's going to be minus a -4. And that's going to equal 48. Well, remember, when you subtract a negative, we're going to make that a +4 right off the bat. And then to solve for x, we're going to subtract 4. And y'all, that's the biggest mistake right here. Remember, when you're subtracting a negative number, that's got to become positive, okay? All right, y'all, so those cancel. X, 48 minus 4 is what, 44. So good job. Largest number is 44. Middle number, small number. So I think MathLab has us put them in order like that. So yeah, they want to go from largest to smallest. So you would do your 44. We got 21. And then we got a negative 4. Also, if you add these three numbers, they will equal 61, okay? So we could have checked that doing that. Oh, y'all, the last one for 3-6, and then I'll probably do the 3-6 support just to help you with that. But look what they got. By eating one egg, so let me write these as I go. One egg, one cupcake, one slice of pizza, a child consumes 303 milligrams of cholesterol. Second equation says if they eat 3 cupcakes and 4 slices of pizza, he or she takes in 89 milligrams of cholesterol. And then y'all finally, by eating 3 eggs and 1 cupcake, a child consumes 847 milligrams of cholesterol. So notice what they're wanting. They want to know how much cholesterol is in each item. Okay. So we got our information. We need to come up with our 3 equations. Now, since they're talking about eggs, cupcakes, and pizza, I'm going to be, eggs will be my X's, cupcake will be all my Y values, and then I'll put the pizza in the last row. And then over here, all of our answers. So 1 egg will be X plus 1 cupcake plus 1 slice of that pizza. That equaled 303 milligrams. So second equation, what are y'all putting for my second equation? 3 cupcakes and 4 pizza is 89 milligrams. So good job. Cupcakes was my Y, so 3Y. Pizza was my Z, so 4Z. And that's going to equal the 89. All right, y'all, 1 to go. 3 eggs and 1 cupcake is 847 milligrams. Y'all get my third equation, then we will be able to knock this thing out. So 3x for my 3 eggs, plus a y, because that's what, 1 cupcake. And that's going to equal 847. Oh, y'all didn't even remind me to do the calculator on the last problem. So for sure, let me write that down here. I'm going to do the calculator just to refresh y'all on using that matrix stuff on these, okay? So why don't I do the calculator first, and then we know what we got to get on this thing, okay? So if I'm going to do it on the calculator, I'm going to add a 0 here and a 0 here. So I'm going to put in a 1, 1, 1, 303, 0, 3, 4, 89. Then you'll do a 3, 1, 0, 847. So let's see the milligrams in this thing, and then we'll do it by hand, okay? But I think I've said I was doing this calculator twice now, and I've done forgot it, okay? So remember, first thing we got to do, put the matrix in it by hitting second, X -1, and going over to edit. On edit, hit enter. Now these are still 3 by 4 because we got 3 equations and 4 columns. So enter, enter. And then let's put in our numbers. 1 egg, 1 cupcake, 1 pizza was 303. And enter. 0 for the egg, 3 cupcakes, 4 slices of pizza was 89. And then 3 eggs, 1 cupcake, 0 pizza was 847. All right, y'all. So remember, I got all my data in. So now I quit the screen by hitting second mode. So now matrix is in there. So now we go get the math. Remember, we hit second, x negative 1 again for matrix. We arrowed over to math, and then we're going to arrow down until we get RREF. All right, so I got RREF. I'm going to hit enter. So now that's brought to the main screen. Now, second, x negative 1 again. And now we got to get the matrix. So since I've only got one matrix in here and it's highlighted, I hit enter. And it's going to bring it on the screen. So in the right column will be my eggs on the top right, then my cupcakes, then my pizza in order from top to bottom, okay? So it looks like when we're done, we better get 276 for our eggs, 19 for the cupcake, and it looks like 8 for the pizza. Okay, y'all, so that's how quick that calculator is. Just come up with them 3 equations, punch those numbers in, and remember, if there's not a variable there, you got to put a 0, okay? All righty, so we know the answers when we're done. Better match those, okay? So this second equation don't have an x here. The third equation don't have a z. So y'all pick an equation. Do y'all want me to get rid of x's, or would y'all rather get rid of the z? So everybody's saying x is okay. So I'm going to eliminate the x, which is these 2 equations. So let me ask you this. If I'm going to eliminate the x, what do y'all need to multiply one of these equations by? Don, you're on the right track, but remember, I need to, so I need that -3, like Madeline's saying there, because remember, -3 and 3 would cancel them out, okay? So we're going to multiply this whole equation by -3, y'all, okay? So -3 times x is -3x. -3 times y is -3y. -3 times z is -3z. -3 times 303 is a -909. Now, bring down the other equation, 3x plus a y equaled 847. Y'all, the x is now canceled because y'all did right with that -3. So let's see what's left. -3 and 1 is a -2y minus the 3z, and then -909 plus 847. Oh, y'all, let's give me what, a -62, it looks like. All right, so remember, that's one of my 2 equations. This one has y's and z's because it didn't have an x. That'll be the second one. So we got negative 2y minus 3z equal negative 62. This one was a 3y plus 4z equaled 89. Oh, so I sort of got a fun one left here because I can't just change one row to cancel anything. I've got to change both rows no matter what. Because these numbers don't multiply and get each other, okay? So, y'all get me a letter y'all want me to eliminate out of them two. I can do the Y or I can do the Z. So y'all pick one of those two and we'll eliminate that next. All right, so we're going to eliminate the Y. Oh, hey, who is this that just answered that? Because all you got is a web address for your name. So actually give me your name so I can count you as here. Okay, I got you. All right, y'all. So y'all want me to get rid of the Y. So the smallest number that I can turn both of these into would be a 6. I'm going to make one a positive 6, one a negative 6. So since that one's negative, I'm just going to make that a negative 6 by multiplying by 3. And then I want this one to be a positive 6. So I'm going to multiply by 2. So 6 is the smallest number I can do. It's almost like finding the least common denominator with these, okay? All right, y'all, so let's start multiplying through. 3 times negative 2 is negative 6y. 3 times negative 3 is a negative 9z. 3 times negative 62. So what's that give me? Oh, that's a negative 180 something, y'all. 186, I think. Now, multiply this in by 2. 2 times 3 is 6y. 2 times 4 is 8z. 2 times 89 is 178. All right, y'all, look at that. The y's are now canceled. So what do we got left? We got a negative 9 and 8. Gives me a negative 1z. 186 is a negative. Added to a positive 178. That's going to be a negative. Which I get negative 8 on that. All right, make the z positive because we can't keep it negative. So at this point, you got to divide both sides by the negative 1. So that cancels, giving me a positive z. That cancels, giving me a positive 8. So z is 8. That means that was the pizza, which is what they got. So now, since I know z is 8, I can use this equation and solve for the cupcake. So y'all, let's do that. 3y plus 4 times z, which is 8, equals 89. So y'all, I would multiply that and get a 32 first. All right, then to finish solving that, I'm going to subtract 32 over. So that 3y comes down. Those cancel. 89 minus 32. Oh, what's that going to give me? 89 minus 32. Okay, you got 57 there. All right, divide 57 by 3 and tell me what we get. So that y equals 19. Good job. So 8 for the pizza, 19 for the cupcake. So that means the eggs must have all the MGs, right? So the eggs, I can use this one. 3x plus y equals 847. Because I know y is 19. All right, so y'all subtract 19 over. All right, so those cancel. All right, y'all, 847 minus 19. It's going to be an 8 something. 828, good job. And guess what? Last step, divide both sides by 3. So divide 828 by 3 and see what we get. 276. So we took us a little longer, but y'all, 276, 19, and 8, same as our calculator spit out for us, okay? Alrighty, also, let me let y'all write that down real quick. That's 3.6. Coming up with those equations, and then remember, when you eliminate a variable, eliminate so that the other variable, the other equation makes up the second one that's missing it, okay? But y'all, if you notice, all three of the ones I had tonight had places where they would have zeros on them, okay? All right, y'all, so I was going to do these little bit of support real quick, just to give you some more experience seeing those type word problems, okay? Now, these ones, we don't have to solve but one of these. The rest of them are just coming up with the equation. So let me just see what y'all would come up with your answers to these equations. And remember, this is support 3.6, okay? So y'all, my first one, what would y'all write for this? A number increased by 6. So how would I write that? And they tell you use x as the variable. So if you're using the x, how would you write that as a mathematical expression? So number increased by 6, x plus 6, perfect. So yeah, these are just getting ready so that you can figure out those word problems we just did, okay? Right, this one's really similar, but I'll show you the difference. A number increased by, a number increased by 7. So I think the only difference on these two problems is this one, they spelled out 6. This one, they wrote the 7. But y'all, write that as a math. There you go, x plus 7, perfect. So the first two are going to be similar to that. So y'all, let me up the ante a little bit. How about this one? 26 more than twice a number. And they're using x for the variable. So 26 more than twice the number. So what y'all got? Oh, Taylor, that's good. 2x plus 26. Okay, good job. 22 more than t. So now that one, they're giving you a t as your variable. So 22 more than t would be t plus 22. Good job. All right, y'all. So the last support one, guess what? Little trickier than those two. So this one says the sum of two numbers is 7. 3 times the larger number plus 2 times the smaller number is 34. So can y'all come up with two equations based on these two sentences? What's my first sentence? And let X and Y be your numbers. So y'all give me using X and Y. So X plus Y equals 7. Good job. And then 3 times the larger, 3X. Good job. Plus 2 times the smaller, 2Y. Good job. Equaled 34. So guess what, y'all? This ain't the answer they wanted. Because since y'all came up with these equations, guess what they want you to actually do? Find the numbers. So if I'm going to find the numbers, there's two numbers I got to find. Well, I got two variables and two equations. So y'all, let's find those numbers. That means y'all got to solve this system of equations. So what is your first step to solving that? Is y'all need to figure out one of those variables y'all want to get rid of. Now remember, I need one of those that'll actually cancel. So y'all are saying X's. So y'all want to cancel the X's. So if I'm going to cancel the X's, you need to multiply one of these rows by what? What are y'all multiplying one of these two rows by? So -3, good job. So I only got to change one of these to get them to cancel. So let's multiply by that -3. We get a -3x, -3y. See, we're just distributing that thing through. And then -3 times 7 is a -21. All right, we didn't change this one. 3x plus 2y equaled 34. All right, y'all look at that. That cancels. -3 plus 2 leaves you a -y. And then let's see, 34 and -21 is a 13. So we need to make that positive. So y'all divide both sides by -1. So that I get a y. And then that's going to be what? A -13. So one of these two numbers is a -13. So it said the sum of two numbers, X plus Y equals 7. I know the Y is a -13. So I'm back substituting now. So back substitute. X plus Y, which is a -13, has to equal 7. So I'm just plugging my -13 in for that Y. So y'all add me 13 to both sides. And what do we get? because those are going to cancel. Oh, and 13 plus 7, which I got 20 there. Good job. So a 20 added to a negative 13 is 7. And then if you did 3 times the larger, which would be 60, 2 times the smaller would be negative 26. 60 and that negative 26 would equal that 34. So y'all, that's the trick on this section. Coming up with your sentences and then solving them, okay? So support, you only have to solve for 2 variables. College Algebra 3.6, you got to solve for 3 of them, okay? Now remember, could you have done this one on the calculator? Yeah, so let's do that real quick on the calculator. So let me clear the history up here. And notice, on that one, we didn't have no missing variables. So I'm going to go to second, x negative 1 from a matrix, go to edit, hit enter. Now these had 2 variables and 3 columns. So this one will be a 2, enter, 3, enter. So remember, how many variables do you got? And then how many columns do you got, okay? All right, y'all. So the first one was 1x, 1y equaled 7. So the sum of my 2 numbers was 7. Then we had a 3x plus 2y equaled 34. And enter. So our numbers are in. We hit second mode to quit. Now, second, x negative 1, go to math, and then arrow down. So really, the trick is just getting that matrix in there and quitting the screen, okay? Because y'all, the rest, we're just using second x negative 1 a few times. I done got my RREF, so now I get my matrix. Now they're all on the home screen. We hit enter, and y'all, there's my numbers, 20 and negative 13. Okay, so remember that right column is always your answer from top to bottom, okay? So y'all, either way, they're sort of fun doing them by hand. So you got the calculator either way, okay? All right, y'all, so let me tell you what's coming up next week. So next week, test 1's going to open and be due by the 15th. So coming Tuesday night, whoops, let me push that up. So Tuesday night, we're going to cover 10.2, which is 2 problems doing matrices. And I think it already shows up for y'all on that one. I'm not getting my Zoom to do good. All right, there it goes. It's just 2 problems doing matrices in 10.2. And we don't have to solve them like these ones. We just got to come up with what we would put in as our matrices. So they're pretty easy problems. So we'll do those on Tuesday. Also, we'll do the last section for test 1, which is 3.7. And y'all, 3.7 covers graphing inequalities. Okay, so these will be like graphing lines and then shading them. They're not too bad either. There's only like 4 or 5 of these, 2 of those. So not very much. So we will cover both of these on Tuesday, and then we'll use that support hour if we want to do 3.7 support. It's just graphing like 2 or 3 lines in it also. So 10.2 though, you want a calculator doing them matrices because that's the only way you can do these problems, okay? So calculator or the calculate 84 phone app, either way will work. So Megan, no, 10.2 technically will be due the next Sunday. I was going to do it this week, but I needed more people to get through that 3.5 and 3.6. And since those 2 sections are fairly small, we're just going to knock them out on next Tuesday because those are the last 2 sections for the first test, okay? That way, Thursday, we can devote Thursday for test 1 review. Okay, I want to go through all 20 of them problems, okay? So I'm going to go through all 20 problems for our first test on Thursday, because y'all test 1 will be due that Sunday the 15th, okay? All righty, so let's see what calculator we need. So if you want the actual calculator, you want one that's, let me show you mine on the screen. You want the TI-84 Plus. This is the CE version. They got different versions. And then they got this CE version like that. But any TI-84 will work, okay? So that'll just be any TI-84. And TI is for Texas Instruments. So this 84 can be a plus. It can be a silver. It can be the CE version. Any of them will work, okay? And then remember the app I'm using on my phone, y'all, was to calculate 84. It's just tricky. Sometimes punching in on the phone, them numbers ain't very big, and you might hit a different number or something. So yeah, but either way, y'all. So this week was 3.5 and 3.6. That's all you gotta worry about having done for me by Sunday night, okay? Next Tuesday, we're going to knock out 10.2 and 3.7. And then Thursday, like I said, we are reviewing for test 1, okay? All righty, y'all. So any questions out of y'all? So we sort of got our support done already also. So that helps out. So if y'all don't have any questions, then we won't do a support.